Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button. We have a lot of breaking stories to get to right now, folks. So let's jump right in. Let's do this. Breaking, horrifying moment just captured at the border. There's no sound. Wow. All I could say is what a effed up job that is. The last one, seen him? He's like, I'm in too. They got one. Oh, they hurt him. He got hurt. Oh, snap. Oh, boy. Alright, next. Let's just X that out as we go along. Malaya Obama loses it. She lost her iPhone in Chicago this weekend at a Lollapalooza music festival. That's as much as I'm reading into it. Next, Google employees speak out about conservative firing. Google employees are speaking out anonymously about the culture in response to James Damore. Over the weekend, Google was rocked by a publication of an internal manifesto that alleged wide-ranging political bias within the company. In exclusive interviews with Breitbart, more Google employees are now speaking out. The 10-page manifesto, which was met by an immediate backlash, described the climate of fear at the company in which the company employees who challenged prevailing leftist narratives on diversity were faced with immediate threats to their career. Breitbart News is now exclusively publishing a series of interviews with Google employees who contacted us in the wake of the manifesto's publication to confirm its allegations. The interview series, entitled Rebels of Google, will be published in full over the coming days. Because every employee who spoke to us fears for their job if their identities were made public, we have provided aliases in place of their real names. In the first interview of the series, a Google employee, alias Hal, speaks of witch hunt and intolerance at Google, as well as dysfunction at the company's upper echelons. Hal began the interview with a statement about Google. Witch hunts are a well-known cultural problem at Google. The company is currently facing a federal complaint filed by the National Labor Relations Board in April for interfering with employees' legal right to discuss workplace diversity and social justice initiatives. The complaint alleges that Senior Vice President Urs Holz and numerous managers in the organization actively stoked up witch hunts in 2015 and 16 intended to muzzle low-level employees who raised concern about the company's practices. The trial is set for November. Several managers have openly admitted to keeping blacklists of employees in question and preventing them from seeking work at other companies. There have been numerous cases in which social justice activists coordinated attempts to sabotage our employees' performance reviews for expressing a different opinion. They have been raised to senior VP level and with no action taken whatsoever. Alum Baklari said, "What it's like to work in such an environment. What is it like?" he asked. "Do you think it damages employees' output?" Of course. A lot of social justice activists essentially spend all day fighting the culture war and getting nothing done. The company has made it a point to hire more people like this. The diversity gospel has been woven into nearly every thing the company does, to the point where senior leaders focus on diversity first and technology second. The company-wide Google Insider emails used to talk about cool new tech, but now they're entirely about social justice initiatives. Likewise, the weekly all-hands TGIF meeting used to focus on tech, but now they're split about 50-50 between tech and identity politics signaling. For conservative employees, this is obviously demoralizing, but it is also dangerous. Several have been driven out of the company or fired outright for sharing a dissenting view. Others have had their promotions denied or suffered other forms of deniability retaliation. Most of us keep our heads down because we can't afford to lose our jobs. AB, have there been any standout moments of the intolerance at Google? Anything that particularly stands out in your memory, he asked. Hal said, there have been a number of massive witch hunts where hundreds of SJW mobilized across the corporate intranet to punish someone who defied the narrative. The first one I remember is when Kelly Ellis made an unfounded allegation of sexual harassment against her former manager. The Google terminated the manager in response to the internal SJW outrage. This was similar in intensity to the current witch hunt. Anyone who sympathizes with the manager's plight or asks for any sort of due process was counseled by HR and told that they were creating a hostile workplace for women and minorities by sticking up for a harasser. Google better get their act together. That's all I have to say right in this. They really better get their act together, okay? No one cares about political correctness anymore. That's done. We can't live our life that way. Next, Lara Trump just admitted everything on Hannity. This is bull. I don't know why. Why are they putting this crazy guy on there? I want my next one. Something happened. Sorry, folks. Hold on. There we go. Got Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff standing there. All right. Okay, Lara. Let's see what she's got to say.
One thing I think is a real big indicator, you're working on a re-election campaign, right, Committee?
Yep, absolutely.
And I was reading numbers recently, and the Democrats are broke, and in spite of all the negative press, you guys are killing it financially.
We are. We're so proud. We work every day alongside the RNC, and we have so much money in the bank right now. In fact, I think we have more money.
You should never say that because you always need more for a campaign.
We always need more, but the good news is that we have built a war chest, and we feel very strong going into 2020, and we're only in 2017, and then you look at the other side, and they're doing terribly. You know, the DNC is almost broke, and I think it speaks to the fact that people in this country are very excited about the president. They're excited about the great changes they've seen since he's taken office, and, you know, they're really supporting him, and they're behind him.
Right. Next, Kaepernick exposed. Look, he's got a cleaned up look. Got rid of that afro. You know, thought, you know what? Maybe that's not working for me. We cut that down. I'm gonna keep my beard though. Even though I think he's half white, right? He's half white, half something else. I don't even know. He's turning down NFL contracts in the hopes of stirring up a media frenzy that leads to a bigger money deal. Colin Kaepernick is still a free agent. And he's turning things down. Okay, whatever, let's read on. He's being turned down. No one wants him. He's still a free agent, and an NFL inside source told the Daily Caller Monday that the former 49ers quarterback has no one but himself to blame. Despite the ongoing narrative that Kaepernick's very public political views are preventing any NFL teams from offering him a roster spot, the DC source claims Cap himself has turned down at least one contract in hopes of stirring up a media frenzy that eventually leads to a more lucrative deal for the 27-year-old vet. Kaepernick allegedly doesn't want to make backup money, and specifically instructed the representative team to not sign one contract offered at a league's minimum rate of $900,000 per year for a 7-year player. Shortly after the 2017 offseason began, Kaepernick parted ways with XAM Sports, the agency which had represented him since he entered the league in 2011, and the DC source added that Kaepernick's girlfriend, outspoken radio host Nessa Diab, appears to be driving force behind his negotiation tactics. Colin thinks he's fighting a much bigger battle than he is, the source stated. He views himself as a race messiah. Good. And messiahs are usually broke. Enjoy that one. The sources further explain that the NFL has instructed teams and owners to hush news of Kaepernick's contract negotiations. Several teams, including Ravens, Seahawks, and Dolphins, reportedly reached out to Kaepernick this offseason. Just last week, Raven owner Steve McCoskey confirmed he was interested in inquiring Kaepernick to play second fiddle to OFT-insured starter Joe Flacco. 2 days after Baltimore first expressed interest, Raven legend Ray Lewis posted a cryptic video telling Kaepernick to focus on football, not activism. Niab Diab then compared Lewis and Biscotti to a slave and master, and negotiations stalled. Back in late May, Seattle was so interested in Kaepernick that they brought him in for an on-site workout, but despite being impressed with his performance, Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll stated the next week the team could not sign him because he's a starter. We have a starter, Carroll stated before declining to answering questions on Kaepernick's salary demands. But he is a starter in the league, and I can't imagine somebody won't give him a chance to play. Yeah, somebody will sign him, but he screwed himself. He's going to get a lot less than he was supposed to. He was cut by XAM after being in there for 6 years. Sucker. Look who's coming back on the air. Oh, snap. Don't like him very much anymore. Back on TV, Out in the Wild, Netflix, 2018. Don't watch it. He's against Trump, folks. He's against Trump. He can go to hell. David Letterman. Leaked plans to oust President Trump is exposed. A confidential memo from David Brock was leaked on how to fight President Trump. Below are screenshots of the first 3 pages, and a link to the full memo is afterwards. What is this? Oh boy. The progressive infrastructure groups we've built together are starting long before Hillary Clinton ran for president. They are always intended to be the first lines of defense and offense when we are under siege. If we keep fighting, our groups will last. We will continue to build the future, and we will win again. We have a mandate. Together, we won the popular vote, and the Democrats picked up seats in the Senate and the House. Wow, what a way to spin the truth. Trump is at least popular incoming president in modern history, thanks to you guys lying about him. An outraged president and popular vote winner are again the most admired man and woman in the nation. Don't know what that means, sorry. The country did not vote for Trump-style change. Yes, we did. Trump has a legal authority, but we have the moral authority. No, you don't. And the moral responsibility to oppose him. No, you don't. We have the moral high ground, my friend. We, on the right, have the moral high ground. We, on the right, are right. Very easy to remember. We're on the right, and we're right. And we will fight. We will fight. You will lose. So we will fight every day, he writes. We are going to fight for the things in which we believe, and we're going to fight against anything, any attempt to erode the cornerstone work and values of the progressive movement in this pluralistic nation. We're going to resist the normalization of Donald Trump. his every conflict of interest, his every bit of cronyism, his every move towards authoritarianism, in every subversive of our democratic systems and principles, his every radical departure from foreign and domestic policy norms. You know what they're saying? As he dismantles the horrendous laws and regulations that we put forward to stop and kill the American culture in the West, he's going through and he's just undoing all the horrible work we've done. That's another way of putting what he said in the realistic terms. He's saying it in a way like what they're doing is good and Trump's destroying them. That's not true. They're the ones who are destroying America. Trump's just fixing it again. We will apply lessons learned. Boy, that's funny, because they don't even know what they did wrong yet. Generally speaking, and simply put, Democrats got clobbered in the digital space. Sorry, so folks, not used to reading these small letters. Digital programs, both tactical and messaging, failed to actively listen to the online grassroots universe. You don't have a grassroots. You paid for. The Trump camp spoke effectively to the grassroots and replied online channels to disseminate information and misinformation and influence to the media, even getting fake stories onto cable TV. On the right, colonized Facebook, which has established a virtual monopoly of information distribution. Our digital efforts were largely focused on changing the narrative with the traditional media versus voters. This worked to a point, but wasn't enough to face a news media incentivized by profit and access and fearful of intimidation and bullying by Trump forces. They're the only bullies. Trump didn't do one thing that was a bully. He's been a sweetheart this entire time, and the only bullying type attitude is coming from the left, like Nancy Pelosi. She's a bully. She called this nice man a scumbag. Who's a bully? People who call names, or somebody like Trump who's been a sweetheart every single time he's been spoken? A sweetheart. Yeah, I know. If somebody from the left hears me saying that, you're going to be like, what did he just say? Yeah, Trump's a damn sweetheart. And you're a scumbag for the way you've been treating him. We will fully adopt a new reality. Oh, we see that you already have. And we will win. Yeah. Here's how. In the next 4 years, Media Matters. Oh, Media Matters. Wow. Google Media Matters, folks. See what you find. I'm not even going to say it. Media Matters will continue to its core mission in disarming right-wing truths while leading the fight against the next generation of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not political. Patriots. Sorry. And while leading the fight against American patriots. The proliferation of fake news and propaganda now threatening the country's information ecosystem and telling everyone the truth, breaking through Media Matters lies. Serial misinformers like Media Myers are against right-wing. I'm reading this wrong purposely. I'm fixing this for our readers so they can understand what's really going on. Serial misinformers like Media Matters are against right-wing people inhibiting everything from social media to the highest levels of government will be exposed and discredited. That's you. Internet and social media platforms like Google and Facebook will no longer uncritically and without consequence host and enrich what we deem as fake news. Really? And who decides what fake is? You? You do? What if we say you're fake, which you are, and we're saying that? Toxic alt-left social media-fueled harassment campaigns that silence dissent and poison our national discourse will be punished and halted. American Bridge will cement itself in the standard bearer of opposition research built on its role and progressive clearing house for information that drives the narrative on Republican office holders and candidates, and will be the epicenter of Democrats' work to regain power starting in 2017 and building to 2020. Here's what success looks like. Trump will be defeated either through impeachment or at the ballot box in 2020. Okay, this is what success looks like for us. Trump annihilates you in 2020, and you start writing more things like this in 2021. The balance of power will shift back to the demons. We will measurably destroy and impact the U.S. Senate, gubernatorial, and state legislation races. We will free ourselves from solely relying on the press, which we control. So this way we'll be able to control the press and the internet. Our robust digital programs will reach voters directly online, so we can lie directly to them and no one can stop us. Crew will be leading nonpartisan ethics watchdog group in a period of crisis with the president and administration that present possible conflicts of interest and ethical problems of an unprecedented scale. Crew, that must be an organization, will demand ethical conduct from the administration and all parts of government, expose improper influence from powerful interests, and ensure accountability. When the administration and others shriek ethic standards, rules, and laws, here's what success will look like. Trump will be afflicted by steady flow of damaging information, lies that we put out, new revelations, and crap, an inability to avoid conflict issues. The Trump administration will be forced to defend illegal conduct in court, even if it's not true. Powerful industries and interest groups will see their influence wane. Actually, they're doing very, very well, and where the GDP is up $4 trillion. That's with a T, like in terrific. Dark money, like, from the Democrats' side, will be politically liable in key states. I don't know what that means. Share Blue will take back social media for Democrats. We will delegitimize. I'm sorry, folks. I'm having a hard time. It is 6:30 in the morning. We will delegitimize Donald Trump's presidency by emboldening the opposition and empowering the majority of Americans who oppose him. Share Blue will be a dynamic nucleus to the multi-platform media company that informs, engages, and arms Americans to fight. Here's what success will look like. Share Blue will become the de facto news outlet for opposition leaders and grassroots. Trump allies will be forced to step down or change course due to news published by Share Blue. So really, Trump allies, so anybody who believes in Trump will be forced to step down and change their views. So our freedom of speech is basically dead. Under pressure from Share Blue, like a communist dictator, Democrats will take more aggressive positions against Trump, more than they already have. Share Blue will achieve financial sustainability while diversifying content offering and platforms. Top editorial and writing talent will leave competitors to join Share Blue. Right now, our institutions are among the critical few that stand between the America we love and the abyss. We must protect and defend our democratic values. We will not back down. We will only move forward. We hope you will fight with us. Sorry, folks. It's not going to happen. Alrighty. Okay. Next. I'm just going to the next one because that was disgusting and long. And you know what? I need to find out one thing. Who is this? Leaked plan to oust President Trump. By who? David Brock. David Brock leaked on how to fight President Trump. From David Brock. Okay. Who's this David Brock? Who is that? Let's find him. What does he look like? Want to see what he looks like? Do you want to see who you need to look out for? Do you want to see the fucking name, the face to this asshole? I'm sorry for cursing. I pinged him out one day and I told everybody to take a look at this guy before. Look at him. Look at him. He's out of his freaking mind. Look, right there. You could just tell. He's a psycho. Oh, look who he's friends with, John Podesta. Of course. Look, is this him here? Was he trying to be an actor once? Is this man trying to be an actor? Yes, it is him. He tried to be an actor once. This is who we're listening to. Another effing actor. Man, I'm just gonna go. I get angry. I get angry. Here we go. Democrats are going to scramble. Look what was just leaked. Okay? Oh my God, no. Bye. Whoa, new details on Seth Rich case suggest Donna Brazile as a person of interest. Yeah. Rod Wheeler, a private investigator, believes former DNC boss, DNC, Democratic National Committee, Donna Brazile may be a person of interest in relation to Seth Rich's murder. Big League Politics reports. In a shocking series of text messages sent to Fox News reporter Malaya Zimmerman by private investigator Rod Wheeler, he describes being startled by Donna Brazile, as he states that her behavior makes him think that Donna Brazile is in the category of persons of interest as it relates to the death of Seth Rich. The day before, Fox News published their now retracted story about Seth Rich, the source of the Democratic National Committee's emails released by WikiLeaks. Wheeler wrote to Zimmerman. Wheeler explained how Brazile had called the police department after he met with the lead detective on the case. A key communications log of detailed exchanges between Wheeler and Zimmerman was provided to Big League Politics by a person who wishes to remain anonymous at this time. Big League Politics previously published the notes from Wheeler's April 25, 2017 meeting with D.C. Police Detective Joseph Della Camera, in which the detective did not confirm or deny Rich being in contact with WikiLeaks. Della Camera admitted that he had been trying to contact Julian Assange for help with the case. Della Camera was asked, were you aware that Seth was having problems with two supervisors at his job, DNC, and he was very emotionally upset about because of his problems at the DNC? Della Camera replied, I was aware that there were problems, but I don't know who the supervisors were and that he was having problems with. Are you surprised? Of course you're not. Clinton crime family and associates. Jason Chaffetz just made an admission. All right, before we do that, folks, I'm going to jump into a quick 1-minute commercial. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Hello, friends, and thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you. Freedom of speech is under attack. The elites and radical left are trying to stifle and squash our right to say what we want. They're going after Fox News, Sean Hannity, and others in his network trying to silence them. These same elites and radical left are now going after alternative channels like Not Fake News. Recently, left-leaning big companies like Verizon and AT&T and a long list of others got together and held a boycott against YouTube, saying they didn't want their advertisements on videos like ours. What's wrong with our videos? Well, YouTube responded on March 27, 2017 by cutting the money of creators like Not Fake News by a whopping 95%. Friends, I don't have to tell you what happens to a business that doesn't have an income. And that's exactly what they wanted. They want us to stop making videos. They want to kill your right to hear the truth. What's next if they succeed? Burning books in the library? I just heard they stopped and banned Milo Yiannopoulos' book Dangerous on Amazon for a while. I mean, what's next? Burning the books in the library? What are we doing? Who will you go to for the real news if Fox is silenced and alternative channels are forced gone? Well, if we're gone, they're forced out. Will you go to CNN? Will you go to ABC? Will you go to NBC? Do you believe anything they say anymore? Don't let them kill your freedom of speech. The only way for alternative channels like Not Fake News to survive is through small donations from loyal viewers like you. YouTube can take their money. Big companies, they can pull their damn ads. But if every one of our subscribers gave $1 or $5 or $10 a month, they would never, ever be able to stop us. Freedom of speech, folks, is truly under attack. Please support this channel, Not Fake News. Go to patreon.com/notfakenews. The link is in the description below. You are the resistance if you're listening to this transmission. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, folks. And we really do appreciate your support. It is needed. Your support wholeheartedly funds this channel completely. We get nothing. YouTube's money is laughable now. It wouldn't even be able to pay for lunch. Okay? Seriously, can't pay for lunch for one person with the money that they give us for our videos now. It went from me being in a position to start hiring people, because I was only, and I was just about to start hiring people. YouTube money was fine. They took 95% of our money away. Why? Because I'm trying to tell you the information that you need to know. So they cut the money. Then you got the big companies basically pulling ads. So we can't rely on them either. There's only one way we can keep this going, and that's through you. I know this sounds like a Saturday morning commercial, but it's not. It's really actually true. The only way for us to survive is through you guys. That's it. Everyone else is already fallen to the dark side. Alright, let's get into this. Jason Chaffetz has made an admission. What do you think that is? The deep state does not like the fact that Donald Trump is trying to change the trajectory of the federal government in place more capable. Damn. All right, back it up. The deep state hates the fact that Trump's trying to change the trajectory of the federal government in a place more compatible with the American people want. Chaffetz explained. That's what they don't understand. That is why Republicans were so successful. You even have the governor of West Virginia switching parties right in front of a major crowd of people. The liberals, their minds are exploding. What's this?
When I grow up, I want to take old stuff I find and turn it into something amazing.
Back then, making the next big thing was a challenge. Today, it's my job. Here at Coke, my team and I recycle cooking oil into renewable biofuels. It's a real challenge finding new ways to create energy, but I think I was born for this.
Yeah, I think so too. Get on with it.
What level, or the intel community who have been leaking stuff to make this administration look bad. You say, at least you told one of our producers, they're not going far enough.
No, they need to start putting people in handcuffs. And look, I think the Deputy Attorney General, he has no credibility on this. He's doing a press conference. But let's go. Most people don't understand this. There's 72 inspectors general that have 13,000 employees. There are 500 inspectors general at just the Department of Justice. Report after report after report. When I was chairing the Oversight Committee, we actually read these reports, making criminal referrals to the Department of Justice, and they don't prosecute these people. So we could sit here all day long and look at people in the past, federal employees, who've already violated the law that have been documented by the Inspector General, go put them in handcuffs, and then we'll actually see a difference, and then they'll get some credibility.
Front page of the New York Times today, another leak. The New York Times got a hold of the climate change plan that was given to Pruitt, and they said were concerned that it was going to be suppressed by the Trump administration, so they put it in the New York Times.
Look, the deep state does not like the fact that Donald Trump is trying to change the trajectory of the federal government in a place that is more compatible with what the American people want. That's what they don't understand. That's why Republicans were so successful. You even have the governor of West Virginia switching parties, and the liberals, their are exploding.
Thank you very much.
They are. Their minds are exploding, folks. You should be happy about that. And look, final story. Look who's been a closet Trump supporter all this time.
I think the president has a First Amendment right, just like everybody else, to get his word out. I don't know that it falls into the realm of quote-unquote news. It may be a perspective, it may be an opinion, it may be a political piece, and as long as there's a separation and they're doing that with the proper balance there, I think they're going to be fine. I do think the American heartland understands that what the president's doing is actually benefiting the United States of America on the whole. I think they get distracted by a lot of inside the beltway, noise. They don't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I wonder what's, Russia." I think they do worry about North Korea. I think they worry because they've got men, women, friends, neighbors, loved ones who are deployed and will be engaged if there's a military engagement there. But healthcare, all the things the president campaigned on, illegal immigration, that's what I find people in the heartland talking about.
Thank you, Chaffetz. And that is it, folks. I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button.
Freedom of speech is under attack. Even the top officials at the Pentagon agree. Information is the greatest deterrent to tyranny and evil that we have in our arsenal. Don't let them take it away. This is why it's more important now than ever to support us here at Not Fake News. Please go to the patreon.com/notfakenews, and the link is in the description below. Your support funds this channel.
Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button. We have a lot of breaking stories to get to right now, folks. So, let's jump right in. Let's do this. Breaking, horrifying moment just captured at the border. There's no sound. Wow. All I could say is what a effed up job that is. The last one, seen him? He's like, I'm in too. They got one. Oh, they hurt him. He got hurt. Oh, snap. Oh, boy. Alright, next. Let's just X that out as we go along. Malaya Obama loses it. She lost her iPhone in Chicago this weekend at a Lollapalooza music festival. That's as much as I'm reading into it. Next, Google employees speak out about conservative firing. Google employees are speaking out anonymously about the culture in response to James Damore. Over the weekend, Google was rocked by a publication of an internal manifesto that alleged wide-ranging political bias within the company. In exclusive interviews with Breitbart, more Google employees are now speaking out. The 10-page manifesto, which was met by an immediate backlash, described the climate of fear at the company, in which the company employees who challenged prevailing leftist narratives on diversity were faced with immediate threats to their career. Breitbart News is now exclusively publishing a series of interviews with Google employees who contacted us in the wake of the manifesto's publication to confirm its allegations. The interview series, entitled Rebels of Google, will be published in full over the coming days. The trial is set for November. Several managers have openly admitted to keeping blacklists of employees in question and preventing them from seeking work at other companies. There have been numerous cases in which social justice activists coordinated attempts to sabotage our employees' performance reviews for expressing a different opinion. They have been raised to senior VP level and with no action taken whatsoever. Alum Baklari said, "What it's like to work in such an environment. What is it like?" he asked. "Do you think it damages employees' output?" Of course. A lot of social justice activists essentially spend all day fighting the culture war and getting nothing done. The company has made it a point to hire more people like this. The diversity gospel has been woven into nearly everything the company does, to the point where senior leaders focus on diversity first. Because every employee who spoke to us fears for their job if their identities were made public, we have provided aliases in place of their real names. In the first interview of the series, a Google employee, alias Hal, speaks of witch hunt and intolerance at Google, as well as dysfunction at the company's upper echelons. Hal began the interview with a statement about Google. Witch hunts are a well-known cultural problem at Google. The company is currently facing a federal complaint filed by the National Labor Relations Board in April for interfering with employees' legal right to discuss workplace diversity and social justice initiatives. The complaint alleges that Senior Vice President Urs Holz and numerous managers in the organization actively stoked up witch hunts in 2015 and 16 intended to muzzle low-level employees who raised concerns about the company's practices.